Hi there, another video with your old pal Joe D here. So this one's actually about more of a small business question. It's a question to me about WordPress and what I think about if I use it, what I think about it, and and so on. So WordPress, if you're not familiar with that, is the back end or like functional side of a website. So WordPress is a free open source uh, platform on which you can build a website. And the website people see would be called the front end. WordPress is the back end. There are other services out there that are paid, like Squarespace is an example of an all-in-one website builder, both back end and front end, or Wix is another one that's both back end and front end. So if you go to use either of those services, go to their website, set up an account, give them your domain. Maybe they'll help you even get the domain, and then they give you all the back end tools to build the site and populate it with info. But it's kind of like in their whole platform from back end to front end. WordPress is an independent third party open source platform that's owned and I guess you could say managed by the WordPress Foundation. It's free to build on, but there are other services, paid services, that you'll need obviously to use it. So whereas Squarespace and Wix are kind of like an all-in-one website in a box thing, you pay a fee. WordPress is a little bit more custom. Now I use WordPress because I like the variety of functionality that it offers. And WordPress, people can develop plugins for WordPress, and you can pay for those plugins, but you can go out and cherry pick very specific functionality for the website through the use of plugins and pay for those as you go. So I think that's pretty cool. I also like the fact that it's free. So it's been a successful endeavor for me. Now, the thing about it is, though, that for the back end itself, there is no customer support. There is no place you can call if you think you're having problems with WordPress. So usually most people get a little bit of developer help somewhere along the line, especially if they're using WordPress. So you generally rely on a third-party paid developer or web tech expert to help you solve some problems. I've been using WordPress for my website for almost 5 years, and I haven't actually experienced, I don't think, any problems like from WordPress itself. Usually the problems that happen with the site are a combination of all the different plugins and stuff I'm trying to do on the site potentially colliding. So I do have a couple development resources, but I haven't really used that many development resources, I guess, relative to the size and functionality of my site. And I was able to figure out and build it all myself on the WordPress platform. I also think the WordPress platform has a lot of like flexible functionality in terms of updating and it's pretty easy to use. Now the downside, besides the fact that there's no like go-to specific support, I find that WordPress as a backend is quite slow. I never used Wix or Squarespace, going back to those examples, so I don't know how fast they are when you're building your site and updating the content and adding new content. But when I'm in WordPress doing things like updating, making new posts, updating my courses, I'm doing that right now, whatever. Just you click the button and you wait literally for 5, 10, 20 seconds sometimes for like the next page to populate. Why that is, I don't know. I've had my host, I use Big Scoots as my host. I've had them go in and do some modifications to WordPress to the degree they can as the host, and that actually has sped it up a little bit. So I do think it's something to do with caching or whatever, but that's my biggest complaint with WordPress is the speed. I feel like it's, somewhat debilitating at times. But overall, as far as functionality and ability to do things and customization and plugins available for it, I mean, it's pretty much, I think, the leading backend in the world, probably, or at the very least for like, certain size sites. So I would recommend it overall, and I wish you well in your website building journey. Talk to you later.